I need you to listen carefully. Not later, not after you scroll, right now. Because if you've ever heard breathing when no one was there, if you've ever felt like something was standing just outside your vision, then this message is already meant for you. Every night, I hear it. Not wind, not static. Breathing, slow, patient, wrong. And the terrifying part isn't that it comes from space. It's that it sounds like it's right behind me. They told us no human ever walked on the moon in secret. They told us nothing ever watched us from there. That is the official story. But in 1992, I watched 3 men die on the lunar surface, and I swear to you, they were not the only ones there. They tell you the first British person in space was Helen Sharman. They tell you no British person ever walked on the moon. That's true, officially. But in 1992, I watched 3 men die on the lunar surface, and something else watched with them. I was never supposed to be an astronaut. I was a systems psychologist for the European Space Agency, specializing in isolation trauma, submarines, Arctic stations, deep space simulation chambers. Men locked in metal boxes with nothing but their own thoughts and the knowledge that rescue is impossible. In April of 1992, 2 dark-suited men came to my office in Cambridge. They didn't show badges, they didn't ask permission. They only said, "You have been cleared for a joint historical review project. You will come with us now." I laughed. I thought it was a prank. They did not laugh. They flew me to a military airfield in northern Scotland. No markings, no flags, just concrete, wind, and a hangar buried into the hillside like a wound. Inside was a room with no windows and a long table covered in reels of film, audio tapes, and sealed folders stamped "Lunar Joint Operations, Eyes Only." There were 6 other people there, 2 British, 2 Russian, 1 American, and 1 man who never spoke and never introduced himself. An observer, they said. He just watched. The first tape they played was 1972, Apollo 17, the final official mission to the moon. We all knew the story. Final EVA, flag, samples, return, heroes. But what they showed us had never been broadcast. Helmet cam footage. The astronaut was breathing hard, not from exertion, from fear. He kept whispering, "It's moving when I'm not looking at it." Then the camera turned. The lunar horizon was empty, except for something tall, too tall, standing behind a rock formation that hadn't been there in the previous frame. It wasn't solid, not quite shadow either, like darkness trying to remember how to be a shape. The audio cut. The screen went black. The Russian officer, General Volkov, spoke next, in a voice that had learned to never tremble. "We believed the Americans were hallucinating. Isolation psychosis, radiation effects, fear." He clicked to the next reel. Soviet mission, classified, 1974, unmanned. The probe landed near the same coordinates. The transmission feed lasted exactly 42 seconds. In that time, something passed in front of the lens. Not walking, gliding. Its outline bent the stars behind it. The signal did not fail. The probe was not damaged. The transmission simply stopped, like someone had closed a door. Then they showed us the real reason I was there. Operation Cold Meridian, a joint British-Russian mission launched in secrecy after the collapse of the USSR, hidden inside a satellite test failure. 3 men, 1 British pilot, 2 Russian cosmonauts. Official destination, orbital debris cleanup. Actual destination, the dark side of the moon. They had one objective: find out if the things were still there. We listened to their final transmission. The British pilot was named Harris. His voice was calm at first. Surface integrity nominal. Visibility low. There's interference on the visor. One of the Russians interrupted. Shadow moving across crater wall, but sun angle is wrong. Silence. Then Harris whispered, "It's standing where the shadow should be." Breathing. Not through a mic, not through a suit, through the airless vacuum, somehow vibrating the radio with the sound of lungs that never evolved to need oxygen. Another voice came through, not from any crew member. It used Harris's voice perfectly. "Do not be afraid. We have been waiting for you." They tried to run. The footage showed them scrambling toward the lander, and then the camera tilted. Something had touched the pilot's helmet. Not a hand, more like a thought given weight. The image warped, the stars bent, and Harris began screaming, but the scream echoed twice. Once from him, once from the thing wearing the pattern of his voice. The transmission ended with one final sentence spoken by all three men at once. "We are not alone anymore." No wreckage was ever found, no impact crater, no debris. It was as if the lander had simply been removed, not destroyed, collected. That was when the silent man in the room finally spoke. "You think they live on the moon," he said. "You're wrong." He leaned forward. "They live in the spaces between observation. The moon is just where they first learned how to look at us back." Since that day, I've been monitored. My phone clicks when I'm not on a call. My reflection lags in mirrors by a fraction of a second. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I see the lunar horizon and something standing on it, practicing how to stand like a man, practicing how to breathe, practicing how to say my name. So if one day you hear about a new mission to the moon and they say it's perfectly safe, and you hear a familiar voice from the broadcast say, "We are not alone, but we are not in danger," remember this: we were never the first to walk there. We were only the first to be noticed. And now, they've learned how to come closer.